Nobody stays on that land past sunset. Nobody who knows what happened there. That plantation has been empty for 40 years. 40 years, and now this girl wants to go in and claim it? God help her. God help all of them.
Sara, I am telling you right now, that man standing at the edge of the field, he was not there 5 seconds ago. He just appeared. People do not just appear, Sara. That is not a normal thing that people do.
I have been watching this land for 112 years. I have seen them come. I have seen them leave. But you are the first one who came back for the right reason.
My grandmother knew you. Did she not? She knew exactly what you were. And she left you here anyway. Why?
There is a question this story will ask you before it ends. Not about the land, not about the Aswang standing at the edge of the cane field, about what we leave behind, and what we leave behind on purpose. Sara did not know why her grandmother left her a piece of land that nobody in the family had touched for 40 years. She did not know what was buried there. She did not know what was waiting there. And she did not know that the answer to all 3 questions was the same thing she was about to find out. Good evening, everyone. My name is Elena. The story you are about to hear begin with a piece of paper. Specifically, a land title, Old Water Stained. Folded so many times, the creases had turned to tears. It arrived in a brown envelope on a Tuesday morning, 3 weeks after Sara Santos buried her grandmother. Inside the envelope, the title, and a letter 12 lines long. Sara read it 4 times. Then she called her cousin Dodoy. Sara Santos was 28 years old. She taught elementary school in the city. She paid her own rent. She cooked her own food. She did not believe in ghosts. She believed in paperwork, in procedures, in showing up and doing the thing that needed to be done. Her grandmother had always called her the most practical person in the family. Sara had always taken that as a compliment. She was about to discover it was also a warning. The land her grandmother left her was in Barangay Daquila, a small village in the province of Negros Occidental, 2 hours from the nearest city, 40 years since anyone from the family had set foot on it. The letter said only this: "Go to the land. Find what I left for you. Do not let Mang Reuben have it, and do not be afraid of the one who guards it." That last line, Sara read it a 5th time. Then she packed a bag. If you are new here, welcome to Aswang English Stories. This channel tells original English horror stories, inspired by one of the most feared creatures in the Philippines. A creature that looks human during the day, but becomes something else at night. Red eyes, long claws, a hunger that does not stop. They call it the Aswang, but not every Aswang story is about fear. Some are about land, about memory, about the things we protect long after we are gone. Tonight's story is one of them. Please subscribe and turn on notifications. Now, let us go to Barangay Daquila. They arrived at Barangay Daquila on a Thursday afternoon. Sara, her cousin Dodoy, and her best friend Boyet, who had invited himself at the last minute and spent the entire ride complaining about the roads. The village was small. One main road, a row of houses, a small market, and at the edge of everything, a gate, old iron, rusted. A faded sign that said, Hacienda Daquila. Beyond the gate, 40 years of silence, and sugar cane as far as the eye could see.
Sara, I want you to know that I love you. I have been your best friend for 15 years. And I say this with all the love in my heart. This place looks like the opening of every horror movie I have ever seen, and I want to go home!
You invited yourself, Boyet.
I know. I regret it. I regret it completely. Dodoy, you seeing this? The gate is literally rusted shut. That is a sign. That is the land itself telling us to leave.
I mean, it is a little creepy, but the air smells nice. Like old grass and something sweet.
Sweet? Dodoy, things that smell sweet in horror stories are never good. That is the rule. That is always the rule.
It is just sugarcane. The whole province smells like this. Both of you stop it!
The gate opened with a key Sara found inside the envelope. Old brass, heavy. It fit perfectly. She pushed the gate open. The cane on both sides moved. There was no wind.
Sara, there is no wind.
Keep moving.
The house was at the center of the property, old Spanish style. Stone walls, wide windows. It had not fallen apart the way abandoned houses should. The walls were clean. The roof was intact. Something had been maintaining it. Sara did not think about that yet. She was thinking about the letter. Find what I left for you. She walked to the front door. It was unlocked.
The door was unlocked. Sara, the door was unlocked. Nobody has been here for 40 years, and the door is just unlocked.
My grandmother owned this land. Maybe she wanted it accessible.
Or something inside unlocked it for us. I am just saying that is also a possibility.
You two go first. I will stay here and guard the entrance.
Guard it from what?
From things. Unspecified things. I will guard it from those.
The inside of the house was exactly what Sara had expected. Old furniture, thick dust on everything except one table. In the center of the main room, a single chair, a glass of water, fresh, and a small wooden box.
That water is fresh.
Yes, it is. Yes, that is fresh water. In a house that has been empty for 40 years, that is absolutely fine. Everything is fine.
My grandmother said, do not be afraid of the one who guards it. Someone is keeping this house. Someone has been here.
What's in the box?
Sara opened the box inside. 3 things. A second land title, older than the one she had received. A photograph, black and white. A young woman standing at the gate of the hacienda, smiling. And a folded note. Sara recognized the handwriting immediately. Her grandmother. But this note was older, much older. The paper was almost yellow. She read it. Then she sat down on the dusty floor. She did not say anything for a long time.
Sara, what does it say?
My grandmother was here before, a long time before she left it to me. She met someone here. She made a promise to him.
A promise to who?
To the one who guards the land. She promised him that one day she would send someone back. Someone from the family. Someone he could trust. She sent me.
They went to the village that evening for food and information. Nina found them first. Nina always found newcomers first. It was her greatest skill and her most consistent hobby.
You are the Santos girl? The granddaughter? I can see it in your face. You look exactly like her when she was young. So you got the letter. You came for the land. Does anyone know you are here? Does Mang Rubin know?
I am sorry, who are you?
Nina. I know everything about this village. I know everything about that hacienda. I knew your grandmother. Not well, she only came once, but I was young and I watched everything. Mang Rubin has been trying to buy that land for 15 years. Did you know that? He has been going to the city to find whoever owns it. Now you're here and he will find out by morning. Maybe sooner.
Who is Mang Rubin?
A developer. Arrived here 10 years ago. Very polite, very clean. He wants to build a resort on that land. He has already bought everything around it. The hacienda is the last piece. He will come to you with a very good offer, and if you say no, the offer will stop being polite.
That sounds like a threat.
It is a description. The threat comes later, but that is not the most important thing I need to tell you. Nobody goes into that hacienda after dark. Nobody from this village, not for 40 years, because something lives there, in the cane field, in the old house, something that has been there since before your grandmother was born.
I know.
You know.
My grandmother told me in the letter. She told me not to be afraid of the one who guards it.
Nina was quiet for a very long time, which, according to Dodoy, was the first time in recorded history.
Your grandmother was a brave woman, or a very foolish one. I could never decide which. She talked to it, you know. When she came, she spent 3 days on that land, alone. And when she left, she was not afraid. She was sad. Like she was leaving someone behind.
She was.
I will tell you one more thing. 3 years ago, a group of Mang Rubin's men went into that hacienda at night. He sent them to document the property. 2 of them ran out before midnight. One of them, the one who stayed the longest, he does not speak much anymore. But the land is still standing. The house is still clean. Whatever is in there, it is not evil. But it is very serious about keeping that land safe.
Mang Rubin arrived at 8 in the morning. He was exactly what Nina described. Polished, pressed shirt, expensive watch. The kind of man who had learned that being pleasant was more effective than being threatening. At first,
Miss Santos, what a wonderful surprise. I heard you arrived yesterday. I have been hoping to meet someone from your family for a long time. I have a proposal that I think you will find very interesting.
Good morning. What kind of proposal?
I want to buy the Hacienda Tequila. I am prepared to offer a very generous price, more than fair market value. You could take the money, go back to the city, and never have to think about this land again. It is complicated property, Miss Santos. Old title, old issues. A lot of people in this village are uncomfortable with what lives on it. I can make all of that go away.
I have not decided what I am going to do with the land yet. I only arrived yesterday.
Of course, take your time, but I would encourage you not to take too much time. Property issues in the province can become complicated very quickly, especially for owners who are not present. I would hate for something to happen that made the title difficult to claim.
Was that a threat?
It was a practical observation. I will leave my number. Miss Santos, I hope you make a wise decision for everyone involved.
he left. The 3 of them sat in silence for a moment. Then Dodoy said what everyone was thinking.
I really do not like that man.
We are not selling. Right, Sara? We are absolutely not selling.
We are not selling. But I need to understand what we have first. I need to talk to him.
Talk to the thing in the field? Sara!
My grandmother made a promise. I intend to find out what it was. Stay here if you want.
I hate this. I hate every part of this. I am coming.
Fine, fine. But if I die, I want everyone to know it was Sara's fault.
They walked the main path through the cane. The field was enormous. On a map, it was 11 hectares. Walking through it, it felt much larger. Sara noticed the same thing she had noticed the day before. The cane was healthy, not wild and tangled the way abandoned fields became, maintained, cut back in some places, cleared in others. Something had been working this land. She stopped at the center of the field, where the old mill house stood, and waited.
You opened the box.
Yes.
You look like her. Lola Nora. You have her eyes. She said she would send someone. I did not know when, but she said she would.
She sent me. What was the promise she made you?
She promised she would find a way to make this land safe, permanently. Mang Reuben has been trying to take it for years. If he succeeds, if this land is developed, everything buried here is gone. Everything I have protected for over 100 years. Gone.
What is buried here?
History. This plantation was a labor camp during the war. The workers who died here, they were never given proper burial. Their families were never told. I have been keeping this land so that one day someone would find them, give them proper rest. Mang Reuben does not know this. He only knows the land is valuable. If he builds his resort, the graves are gone. The history is gone. The families never know.
Sara was quiet for a long time. Dodoy had stopped eating. Boyet had stopped being dramatic. The field was very still.
My grandmother knew about this. That is why she kept the land. That is why she never sold it.
Yes. She came here when she was 20 years old. Her own grandfather was one of the workers who died here. She found me. I told her what was buried here. She promised she would protect the land until she found a way to make it permanent. She kept that promise for 60 years. Then she sent you.
Our great-great-grandfather is buried here.
Yes, Section 3 of the field. Near the old water tower. There are 47 of them.
What do you need us to do?
They stayed in the house that night. Dodoy cooked rice and canned sardines on the outdoor stove and pretended to be completely calm. Boyet sat very close to Sara and also pretended to be completely calm. Lucas sat on the steps of the house and looked at the cane field, the way people look at things they have been looking at for a very long time. Sara brought him a cup of rice and sat down next to him. He looked at the cup for a long moment. Then he accepted it.
I need to understand what you are. Not because I am afraid. Because I need to know what I am working with.
What did your grandmother say in the letter?
She said, "Do not be afraid of the one who guards it." She did not say what you were.
I was born in this province 120 years ago. I was a worker on this plantation. When the war came, I did not survive it the same way the others did not survive it. But I did not leave. What I became, the word the village uses is Aswang. I do not use that word for myself because it means many things, and most of them are not what I am. But it is the closest word there is.
Have you ever hurt anyone?
Mang Reuben's men came 3 years ago. I frightened them. I did not hurt them. I have never taken a life, not since I became what I am. The hunger is there. It is always there. But I decided a long time ago that I would rather feel it than give in to it. Because giving into it would make me exactly what people think I am. And I refuse to be that.
My grandmother trusted you.
She was the first person who did. In a very long time.
Then I will trust you too. Tell me what we need to do to protect this land permanently. And I will do it.
You sound exactly like her when you say that.
She raised me. I guess some things pass down.
Mang Reuben did not wait long. The next morning, there were 2 cars parked outside the gate, 4 men, and a lawyer. Sara had been expecting this. She met them at the gate.
Miss Santos, I hope you have had time to think about my offer. My lawyer has the paperwork ready. It is a very straightforward transaction.
I am not selling.
I see. Miss Santos, I want to be honest with you. I have been patient with this property for a long time. I have purchased every piece of land around it. This is the last piece I need. I would encourage you not to make this difficult.
There are 47 people buried on this land. Workers who died during the war. Their families have never been told. I am in the process of working with the National Historical Commission to have this property designated as a protected heritage site. You cannot build on protected heritage land. I think you knew that. I think you were trying to buy it before I found out.
The pleasantness left Mang Reuben's face entirely, for just a moment. Then it came back, but different.
That process takes months, years. A lot can happen to a property in that time. Accidents, disputes, title complications. I would think carefully about what you are starting here, Miss Santos.
I have been recording this entire conversation since you arrived. Everything you just said, the threats, the implied property damage, the intimidation of a landowner, all of it, recorded. I am also a paralegal. I know exactly which laws you just broke, so I would think carefully about what you are continuing here, Mang Reuben.
Mang Reuben looked at Boyet, then at Sara, then at the recording on the phone. Then he got back in his car. The lawyer followed. The 4 men followed. They drove away. Dodoy let out a breath from somewhere behind the gate post.
Is it over? Did we win? I think we won. Did we win?
We won the first round. He will come back. But now we have documentation. Also, I am actually a paralegal. I want credit for that.
He will try other things. We need to move faster.
Lucas showed them the section of the field near the old water tower, exactly as he had said. The markers were still there, simple stones, rough. Some had names carved into them, some had only numbers, 47 of them in rows. Dodoy photographed everyone. Boyet wrote down every name and number in a notebook. Sara stood at the one marked Santos, R, for a long time.
Hi. I do not know your first name. The R is all I have right now. My grandmother knew you were here. She kept this land safe for 60 years, so that one day, someone would find you. I am going to make sure people know your name. All of your names. I promise.
Lucas stood a few feet behind her. He had walked this section of the field thousands of times. He knew every stone, every name, every number. He had been saying those names to himself for 100 years, so they would not be forgotten, so someone would still know. Sara wiped her eyes with the back of her hand. Then she turned around. All business again.
We need 3 things. A lawyer who specializes in heritage law, a historian who can document the site, and a formal application to the National Historical Commission. Do you have anything from when you were alive? Documents, records, anything that proves what happened here.
Yes, I kept everything I could find. In the basement of the house. I have been keeping it dry for 100 years. I was hoping someone would come who would know what to do with it.
Show me.
Wait, you kept 100 years of documents, dry, in a basement, for this specific purpose.
Yes.
That is the most patient thing I have ever heard.
It really is.
The basement was extraordinary. Wooden shelves along every wall, boxes, folders, rolled papers, all carefully organized, all perfectly preserved. Payroll records from 1940, worker registration lists, letters that were never sent, photographs. A logbook with the names of everyone who had worked and died on the plantation during the war. 47 names, every one of them with a home province, a family name, an age. Sara sat on the basement floor and went through everything. For 3 hours, Lucas sat at the top of the stairs. He had not gone into the basement in a long time. Some things were still too heavy to carry easily.
Lucas, there is a letter here, addressed to someone named Amado Santos. That was my great-great-grandfather's name.
I know. I wrote it. I was going to send it to his family when the war ended, to tell them what happened to him, where he was. The war ended, but there was no one left to send it. The postal system was gone. The village was gone. I kept it because I did not know what else to do with it.
Sara unfolded the letter. It was written in careful, formal Filipino. It described everything. What had happened to Amado Santos, where he was buried, that he had been brave, that he had been kind, that he had not deserved what happened to him, that he was remembered. Sara read the whole thing. Then she folded it carefully and held it for a long time. Then she called Dodoy down.
Your great-great-grandfather, Lucas, wrote this for him 100 years ago. He kept it for us.
He remembered him for 100 years. He remembered all of them.
Boyet did not say anything. He just sat down on the basement floor next to Dodoy, and neither of them pretended to be calm anymore. That night, the 4 of them sat outside. Dodoy had cooked again. More rice, more sardines. This time with something from the garden behind the house. Fresh tomatoes. Lucas had been growing them. For no particular reason, just because things that grew were better than things that did not. Sara watched him across the fire. He sat the way very old things sit, comfortable with stillness, like he had learned long ago that there was no point in rushing. She thought about 120 years. What that felt like, what a person became in that kind of time, what they kept, what they let go.
Do you ever get lonely?
I did. For a long time. Then I learned that the land was company. The things that grew on it, the seasons. Your grandmother helped. Knowing that someone in the world knew I was here, that was enough for a long time. But yes, sometimes.
My grandmother, when she left, what was that like for you?
She was crying when she walked out the gate. She kept looking back. She said she would come back. I knew she could not. I knew life would take her somewhere else. I knew the way it always went. But she kept her promise. She kept the land. And 60 years later, she sent you.
She never told us about this place. Not once. She just kept paying the taxes. Kept the title safe. Never explained why. I used to think she was just sentimental about the province. About her childhood. She was protecting you. This whole time. She was protecting you.
And I was protecting what she loved. That is how it worked. That is how it always worked between us.
That is the most beautiful thing I have ever heard. And I need everyone to know I am not crying. There is smoke from the fire. That is what this is.
Same. Smoke! Definitely smoke!
Sara looked at Lucas. He was looking at her, the way someone looks when they have been alone for a very long time, and suddenly find themselves not alone, and do not quite know what to do with that, but are not willing to look away. Mang Reuben came back on the third night. Not in the morning, not with a lawyer. At 2 a.m. with 7 men and tools, Sara woke to Dodoy shaking her shoulder.
Sara, there are people at the gate. A lot of people. They have equipment. I think they're going to break through.
Wake Boyet. Call the barangay captain. Now.
Already called. They said 20 minutes. Sara, 20 minutes is a long time when there are 7...
I have the recording from before. I am calling the police directly. Sara, what do we do?
Sara was already at the front door. She opened it and stopped because Lucas was already there, standing in the middle of the path between the broken gate and the house in the dark. He was not the same. He was standing the same way, looking the same direction, but he was not the same. The men with their tools stopped walking. Even Mang Reuben, still in his car, still behind the gate, went quiet.
Go through. All of you. Just go through. It is just a person.
Nobody moved. The man closest to Lucas took one step. Lucas looked at him. The man stopped, then sat down on the ground. Then the man beside him sat down. One by one. All 7 of them. Nobody was hurt. Nobody was touched. They just sat down and did not get up.
That man did something to my people. They will not move. He did something.
My name is Sara Santos. I am the registered owner of this property. These men broke through my gate at 2 a.m. with tools and equipment. I have a recording of this man threatening me 3 days ago. I would like to file a formal complaint.
Mang Reuben was taken in for questioning. His men, once Lucas had stepped back, got up and walked out quietly. None of them could explain clearly what had happened. The barangay captain looked at the cane field for a long time, then at Lucas standing at the edge of it. Then he turned to Sara.
Is that the one from the hacienda?
He is the caretaker. He has been here a very long time.
Good. We are glad he is still here.
The National Historical Commission came on a Tuesday. 3 representatives, 2 historians, a documentary filmmaker who had driven 12 hours from Manila after Sara sent the photographs. They walked the section of the field near the water tower. They documented every stone, every name, 47 of them. The basement records were exactly what they needed, more than they had hoped for. The historian said she had never seen documentation this complete for a site like this. She asked who had kept the records. Sara said, the family caretaker. The historian said, to tell him thank you. Sara said she would. The protected heritage designation came through 6 weeks later. Mang Reuben's development permits were cancelled. His legal team tried twice more. Both times, the documentation from the basement stopped them. The third time, they stopped trying. Nina, when she heard, bought everyone in the village a round of drinks at the carinderia. Dodoy cried. Boyet drafted the formal letters to the families of the 47. All 47 families were found. Some of them came to the land. Some of them simply needed to know. All of them said, "Thank you."
It is done. The land is protected. The families know. The records are with the commission. My grandmother can rest now.
She could rest the moment she sent you. She knew you would finish it.
What will you do now? The thing you have been protecting for 100 years, it is protected. What happens to you?
I do not know. I have not thought past this point in a very long time. I have only been thinking about this, about finishing this. I do not know what I am without it.
Then find out. You have time. You have always had time. Just maybe do not spend it alone this time.
Are you saying you are coming back?
The land needs someone present to hold the heritage designation. The barangay school needs a teacher. And apparently I have an ancestral home that needs someone to actually live in it. I have a lot of practical reasons to come back.
And the unpractical ones?
I will let you know when I have finished sorting those out. It might take a while. I am a practical person.
Sara Santos moved to Barangay Daquila 4 months later. She teaches at the village school 3 days a week. The heritage site is open to visitors twice a month. The families of the 47 have a small memorial near the water tower. Dodoy visits every Christmas and spends most of it photographing the field. He says the light there is unlike anywhere else. He has not been able to explain why. Boyet visits every long weekend and has started drafting a book about the legal history of the site. He says it is for professional reasons. He cries every time he visits the memorial. He says it is the dust. Nina told Sara once, over coffee, that this was the best thing that had happened in Barangay Daquila in 40 years. Then, she immediately started telling everyone in the village, every detail of everything that had happened. Sara did not try to stop her. Some things could not be stopped. And some things, the important things, deserved to be known. Lucas is still on the land. He still walks the cane field. He still grows tomatoes in the garden behind the house. He still knows the name of every stone in Section 3, but he does not say them to himself alone anymore. Sara knows them now too. They say them together, sometimes. On the evenings, when the light over the field is the kind of light that makes everything feel like it has always been exactly where it should be. I asked Dodoy once what he thought about all of it. He said, my great-great-grandfather was remembered for 100 years by something that did not have to remember him. That is the most important thing. Everything else is just details. I think that is exactly right. The most dangerous thing is not always the creature in the cane field. Sometimes it is the developer with the polished shoes and the quiet threats. And the bravest thing is not always the person who is not afraid. Sometimes it is the person who is completely afraid and shows up anyway with a key and a letter and a promise to finish what her grandmother started. My name is Elena. This has been the story of Sara Santos and Lucas and the 47 names on the stones near the old water tower and the land that remembered all of them. Subscribe to Aswang English Stories. Share this with someone who believes that some things are worth protecting. Even across 100 years, good night. Sleep well.